This time, please welcome Chief Talbot to the podium.
Okay, again, I'm Mark Talbot. I'm the police chief for the Hampton Police Division. I'd like to echo Sergeant Williams' comments and thank our partner agencies, thank the public for all of their support. Without them, we would not have been able to travel as far as we've been able to travel in this investigation at this point. This is easily one of the most comprehensive investigations that I've been a part of, and it will continue to be. I would just like to remind everybody, we are all assembled here on behalf of 4-year-old Codi Bigsby. Codi Bigsby was reported missing by his father on January 31st at about 9 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Codi Bigsby, who is a 43-year-old male, called 911 and reported that his 4-year-old son, Cody, was missing. Mr. Bigsby reported that his son was missing from his home on Renolette Drive here in the city of Hampton. The Hampton Police Division responded, including our patrol division and our detective bureau as well. We immediately began searching inside and outside of the residence. Following our search of the residence and search of the surrounding area, we immediately contacted our partner agencies and deployed as many resources as we possibly could on that first day. That has continued up until today. While we were searching, Mr. Bigsby and his children were transported to our detective bureau to help us with the investigation. Mr. Bigsby ultimately, through the investigation that we conducted, was arrested and charged with 7 counts of felony child neglect. This was based on his report of leaving his children home alone. He reported that he left home alone his 5-year-old, his 4-year-old, and his 2-year-old twins. This was reported to have occurred on numerous occasions. He reported that it was too much of a burden to bring his kids along with him. Our investigation is not over. It will not end with that arrest. In fact, in some ways, our investigation is going to start and become more intense now. Our partners, in particular our partners with the FBI, have provided us with an extensive amount of forensic data for us to review and process and follow up on. That will take an extended period of time. We have many interviews to conduct. We still have areas to search, and we have many leads to follow. We will not stop here with this arrest. With that, do you have any questions?
Hey, Chief, you had said that, well, I'm trying to find out, can you say when the last time that Cody was actually seen by someone outside of his father or his family? And I say that in part because the court records indicate that on January 25th, well, one of the charges pertained to leaving him alone on January 25th. I don't know if there's evidence that outside of the father for that, or you know, what is the evidence that you have? When was the last time he was last seen?
I obviously won't speak to the evidence that we have specifically. We are still investigating the last time that Cody was seen alive and well by anyone. So if there's anybody out there that might be able to help us with that, we would like to know. The charges that speak to the events that occurred on January 25th are based on what we've done up until this point in the investigation.
Being that there was no Amber Alert issue, would Hampton Police Department be willing to stand behind the Cody Alert that would alert citizens in a local area of a kid going missing, even if it just starts locally and it stands
I'd like to continue to focus on Codi Bigsby as the primary focus right now. At some point moving forward, I think there will be a lot of time to evaluate whether or not we do the right thing to keep all kids safe. I will say Amber Alert is a great tool. It was created in 1996. In 2022, we're all connected. I don't think that we had any difficulty getting the word out about this missing child, and to this day, we're not having any difficulty with that.
Chief, one of the biggest questions that people are having in the community is where is Cody's mother? Is she being questioned? What can you tell us to kind of put some of these questions that folks have to bed as to why she's not out here scouring and searching for her son as well?
I appreciate everybody who's concerned and has those types of questions. I think we should all have questions when a 4-year-old child goes missing. We know where his mother is. We've spoken to her, and she has answered our questions.
Is there someone else that could be involved in the disappearance of Cody that you're looking into that maybe worked with him? Is that a possibility that you're looking into?
We've found no evidence to support someone else is involved.
Chief, this is Beyonce, Fiona Backblack. Just have a quick question. Are you guys looking outside of the state of Virginia, maybe see some areas in D.C. at this moment, or your focus is just Hampton, Virginia?
Certainly, we're interested in any information that would lead someone to believe he's outside of the city of Hampton or the state of Virginia. We're certainly interested in that. Again, we have no information or facts or reasonable belief that that's the case.
Some say no to Virginia also. I don't know.
Is that a question?
No, I was saying.
Okay. Sir.
Is it still,
You go ahead.
Chief, is it still your belief that Codi Bigsby can be found alive? Do you still believe that 5 days after he was reported missing?
I will tell you that we are continuing to search and hope that we can bring Codi Bigsby home. With each day that passes, we become more and more concerned, and we lose a little bit more hope. Obviously, the longer we go, the more tragic it feels.
Chief, is there any reason y'all was doing searches at Harris Teeter's today, and what about Talbot, and what about the aunt?
Yes. Where we search, we have a reason to search.
Chief, is there any evidence that you found that Child Protective Services has intervened in, Codi Bigsby's family or followed up? Like, I know that there's a.
It would be inappropriate for me to answer that question.
Why do law enforcement only allow 50 citizens a day to assist, and would that be a regular practice and not let more of the community assist? Because there were hundreds of people that wanted to help, and they were turned away from helping. So is that going to be a regular occurrence if a 4-year-old goes missing? There's only 50 citizens allowed to assist?
We encouraged the public's participation. We had a tremendous amount, and we continue to get a tremendous amount of support from the public. We asked for a specific number of citizens to help us on a particular day. We didn't want to extend our resources beyond what we could handle. The public is always welcome to go out, check their yards, check their trash cans, check areas that they may know, recheck what you know that we did. We are certainly not sitting in some space where we want to prevent people from helping. But we got a significant amount of public support, which we appreciate.
Chief, is Codi Bigsby still cooperating and answering your questions at this time?
He is in a jail cell right now.
Chief, why was it so hard on yesterday for his lawyer to get into the jail and speak with his with the father? Why was the lawyer denied access on yesterday to speak to his father?
Thank you. Mr. Bigsby is a 43-year-old man who's had a full career in the Army. He retired from a position of authority. He seems to be quite intelligent. He seems to be quite capable, and part of his capabilities seems to be understanding his rights. At no time did he request to see an attorney. Had he made such a request, we would have honored that request.
Do you know, did the children have like a regular babysitter? Who were they in contact with? Where are the other kids now?
We are not aware of a babysitter.
Where are the other children?
They're safe and thriving.
A few days ago, you said abduction was just not what the evidence was pointing to, and abduction usually is some kind of violent act. Is there a chance he was handed off to a family member, and a family member took that, or would you put that under the umbrella of abduction?
There's no evidence that he was handed off to a family member. I will say, I've known a few 4-year-olds in my life. I don't know any who decide at any hour of the morning, when it's dark, to leave their home. I don't know any that do that. I don't believe that that's what happened this time either.
Chief, allegedly, they say he was not here. Y'all said on news multiple times, he was here voluntarily. It's alleged that he was not here voluntarily. Who was stay here for 4 days and the child missing? Was he held against his will or in custody?
Next question, please.
So that's a yes or no.
Was he held against his
I think I answered, I think
You didn't answer.
I'll repeat my response. I'll repeat my response from earlier. Mr. Bigsby is a 43-year-old man with a full career in the United States Army. I'm going to finish my response, miss. I'm going to finish my response.
Yes or no answer, sir.
He was a capable man who had every opportunity to ask for an attorney. He did not make such a request. If he would have made that request, we would have
That was
honored it.
not the question.
We have his family here. Can we hear from them? Can we hear from
Next
his
question,
family?
please.
We have his family here. Can we hear from his family?
Of neglect have come about had this sweet little boy not gone missing.
I'm sorry, could you repeat your question?
Would the charges of neglect that are being brought against Mr. Bigsby, would they have come about if this little boy had not gone missing?
I cannot answer that question. That would be speculation.
When it comes to the search over the next few days, is VDEM, is anybody pulling out resources, or is it still going full force? Do we have enough resources to keep going full force?
We will continue to investigate all the leads that we have available and search the areas where we need to search.
All agencies still helping if they can?
Yes, the agencies that have been helping have agreed to continue to help.
Chief, do you have a reason to believe that Codi Bigsby is alive?
Each day, it becomes harder and harder to believe that Codi Bigsby is alive and well.
Chief, can you say when the last time his mother spoke to Cody?
No, I cannot say.
Do you know when the last time?
I do not know.
Had she been asked that question?
It would be inappropriate for me to answer that question.
Chief, I don't know if you can answer this. So when Corey contacted y'all that his son was missing, had he returned from one of these situations where he had left the children at home, came home, and Cody was missing, or can you not comment on that?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Hey, Chief, for the record, some people, regardless of their educational background, still are not aware that they have the right to an attorney. So that being said, did he at any time was notified that he could have an attorney, or if someone's family hires a lawyer to go see their client, isn't it permissible for the attorney to go see that person? Or
Sir, again, for everybody, I'm here for a 4-year-old child. I'm here for a 4-year-old child. His father was made aware of his rights. His father was absolutely made aware of his rights. We will continue to do everything possible to find his sons, or his child, that is permissible and appropriate. We've never taken a step that was impermissible or inappropriate.
Chief, can I ask, I know a few days ago at a press conference, you said you do not believe that Cody may have gone missing when the 2 a.m. time that was originally put out. Can you say with confidence now that is not when he went missing?
What I said is that the facts that we had didn't match up with what we were being told in a number of cases. So we simply need to investigate more to determine when exactly he went missing.
Chief, for the record, we all are here for the child, but we all are here to also make sure y'all follow the laws that has been constituted. So everybody is, required to have a fair trial. And it was supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until we prove our innocence.
Chief, do you
Thank
feel like
you.
there's a disconnect between, the disconnect between the community, law enforcement, and city officials? Because the citizens still haven't heard anything from the mayor, we still haven't heard anything from city council, and you're the chief of police and the city manager. These are who the city looks up to. And a lot of the community feels like there wasn't as much of a sense of urgency for this 4-year-old we keep mentioning as there should be. We feel as if there was a stronger local leadership, this would have been on CNN, Fox News, and every other outlet to try to find this 4-year-old that we have been tirelessly searching for the last 4 days voluntarily. So do you feel as if there's a disconnect between law enforcement, city officials, and the community?
No, no. We've been supported completely. We've been supported by the mayor, the city manager, the assistant city manager, by other agencies. Fire chief is standing up here with us. We've had a significant amount of support. I am the police chief. This is my responsibility to lead this investigation. I've had everything that I've needed to lead this investigation. There is no disconnect. I will take one more question. I will take one more question. Yes, ma'am.
You've asked for the public's help in putting together a timeline of the last days before Cody was last seen. Has that been helpful? Have you been able to put together a timeline of his father's whereabouts and what he was doing?
We have a timeline that we're working on that still needs work. It's a work in progress. Thank you so much. Thank you.
If we could please ask the family questions. The family is here, so we would like to get both sides. The sister is here.